10 most wonderful abandoned cities in the world. Ancient cities, which were discovered and excavated by scientists until the world surprised the ancient temples perfectly and preserved. It has become a valuable heritage that attracts a large number of tourists each year. While some of these cities were in good shape, some were almost completely broken down, and some of the city's ancient structures, which were found in ancient writings, were found to be real in the world. 1. Machu Picchu, Peru. Machu Picchu is an ancient city of the Inca period. Known as the Lost City of the Incas, it is located in the Urubamba Mountains of Peru, at an altitude of 2,430 meters above sea level and about 80 kilometers northwest of Cusco. The city was built in the 15th century in the 1450s by Emperor Pachacuti of the Inca Empire, then abandoned for about 100 years due to Spanish invasions in South America. Later, in 1911, this ancient city was discovered by a researcher, Professor Hiram Bingham, who also wrote a book called The Lost City of the Incas. The city then became famous for its magnificent buildings and structures that remain in full swing today, attracting a large number of tourists and registering UNESCO World Heritage this year 1983. Also, the city has two great events a year. The sun is in the center of the city and there are no shadows. 2. Angkor City, Cambodia. The city of Angkor is an ancient city of the famous Angkor Empire, which flourished in most areas from the 9th to the 15th centuries. In particular, at the beginning of the 12th century, Sirayavaramanta even built the Angkor Wat, the world's largest religious monument in Angkor, to imitate Brahman, Vishnu, including the Great Temple. Hundreds of other temples. Unfortunately, by the end of the 15th century, this famous city began to decline due to invasion and arson by aggressive neighbors until it decided to abandon the city completely in the middle of a deserted chest. Until 1860, Angkor Wat was rediscovered by the French naturalist Henri Mouhet, and he recorded the discovery of this magnificent city until the world surprised the monument. Huge, well-crafted, intricate, almost superstitious works are believed to be the work of Khmer ancestors. The city of Angkor later became famous worldwide, attracting millions of tourists each year until it was named a World Heritage Site in 1992. It is also said that the city of Angkor also has two sunrise events each year, in March and September. 3. Pompeii, Italy. Pompeii is a famous city that was destroyed under the rubble and ash due to the massive Vesuvius volcano in 79 BC and killed almost one city by some people. Also survived by a timely escape. The volcano also killed one Herculaneum people. After the loss of the city almost 2,000 years later, in the 18th century, this famous ancient city, including a pile of skeletons, has been found and has become a tourist attraction. Also, the Vesuvius volcano is still active, so it is not dangerous for people or tourists to visit it. No one can imagine that the volcano has devastated the city and its inhabitants. Before that. 4. Petra, Jordan. Petra is an ancient city of the Nabataean Empire, built in 312 BC, carved into a cave in the Wadi Musa region of Jordan. Also known as Rose City, it is a thriving trading city of silk cloth and is famous for its great stone construction and water supply. In the 6th century, the city was severely affected by the earthquake, completely destroying the city's structure and damaging the city's water supply until people evacuated and abandoned. The city is completely deserted. In addition, the main Christian center, built in the Byzantine Age of more than 2,000 years, was also damaged by the salty winds of the Bedouin of the Arabian Sea. In 1812, the famous city of Petra was rediscovered and became a tourist destination. 5. Tikal, Guatemala. Tikal was an ancient and well-known ancient city in the pre-4th century in the Guatemala forest, but was invaded by Teotihuacan and completely abandoned in the late 10th century. Today, the city has become a well-known tourist spot, preserved as a magnificent civilization with many pyramid-shaped temples. 6. Teotihuacan, Mexico. The ancient city was a pyramid-shaped area of about 20 square kilometers between 100 BC and 250, with an estimated 100,000 inhabitants. Know who built this magnificent building. The city was abandoned for no more than 1,400 years, then ruled by the Aztecians and renamed Teotihuacan to this day, meaning place of God. It was only inhabited until the 7th and 8th centuries until the year 550. It was destroyed and abandoned again to this day. Teotihuacan, also known as Pyramid of the Sun, is also one of the most famous pyramids in the world. 7. Tiwanaku, Bolivia. This ancient city, located near the famous Lake Titicaca in Bolivia, was also one of the largest and influential cities of the southern Andes in the 7th to 8th centuries. The city had a population of about 100,000 to 300,000 during the 200 BC and was abandoned in the year 900. The reason for the abandonment of the city is because of unfavorable weather conditions in food production, including starvation. However, the city's perfect structure still looks beautiful and still alive to the tourists. 8. Palenque, Mexico. The city of Palenque is also a city in the Mayan civilization, which was known to have developed and flourished in the 7th century, but was completely abandoned in the 8th century to the center of the chest. Forested and surrounded by vines and surrounding forests, without anyone knowing the real reason. In the 19th century, the city was rediscovered and preserved as a famous heritage that attracts a large number of tourists each year. 9. Troy, Turkey. For centuries, it is believed that the famous city of Troy was just the name of the Greek poet Homer and Iliad in the Trojan War. It is not true. It is lost and destroyed over time. But in the 1860s, the truth was uncovered. The remains of Troy were found in the southeastern region of Anatolia. And it was discovered that the city had been destroyed and rebuilt so many times that it decided to abandon it during the Byzantine Empire. 10. Atlantis. Unlike other abandoned cities, Atlantis has been divided by scientists who believe that the underwater city has no real shape in the world, but others think the city actually exists. Atlantis is mentioned in the writings of Plato, an Athenian philosopher, during the ancient Greek period, and it also led many to believe that the city that was buried in the ocean was real. The world can be anywhere in the Mediterranean and Atlantic.